Good evening, I'm Ian Hannamansing. Tonight, Hurricane Ida slams into Louisiana on a poignant anniversary.
This is going to be a devastating hurricane, a life-threatening storm.
Ida brings extreme winds, a wild storm surge, and now no way out for those riding it out.
We have massive winds.
Hunkering down 16 years to the day after Katrina. Another campaign stop stopped. The security situation on the Liberal Trail as protesters hurl threats and slurs.
We don't want it!
Plus, we're in Pakistan as Afghans fleeing the Taliban look for new ways out of the country. And what Canada should have done.
We should have been able to start this earlier.
A meetup, a lifetime in the making.
I feel like this is the culmination of a lifelong journey.
Biological siblings connect for the first time during the pandemic.
Wasn't this awesome?
This is The National. Well, here's a scene in New Orleans this Sunday night. Streets that would be familiar to many Canadian tourists are boarded up. People have taken shelter as Hurricane Ida tears through. And breaking late tonight, President Biden has declared a major disaster in Louisiana. Officials are reporting at least one death, and the National Weather Service is urging people in multiple communities to seek higher ground now as flash floods strike. Ida barreled ashore early this afternoon as an extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane, one of the most powerful storms ever to strike the U.S. It is unleashing torrential rains and brought winds of up to 230 kilometers an hour. So powerful, it reportedly reversed the flow of the Mississippi River at one point. Here's another look from a camera in the city, and right now all of New Orleans without power, as many as 1 million people in the dark across Louisiana and Mississippi. Officials say Ida will remain a hurricane for several more hours. Carolyn Dunn looks at what people, including some Canadians there, are doing to try to get through this night.
A life-threatening storm, one for the record books.
This is one of the strongest storms to make landfall here in modern times.
Oh my God! Ida is tearing a path of destruction through Louisiana tonight. Storm surges and dumping rain bring dangerous flooding.
This is the time to stay inside. Do not venture out. No sightseeing. This is very serious.
We have massive winds.
Unable to evacuate, Canadian Tanya Gulliver is sheltering in place in New Orleans with her dog Bear, hoping the city's upgraded levee holds, planning if it doesn't.
If I see the water coming, there's a hospital about a mile away. Otherwise, wait until the water gets high enough and float onto my roof is the best I think I can do.
Still etched in the city's psyche, haunting memories of Hurricane Katrina that hit this day in 2005. Canadian nurse practitioner Summer Marshall is sheltering in place with her parents who lived through Katrina.
They're definitely struggling emotionally, hoping that the same thing doesn't happen again.
Louisiana's governor says this time the levee won't fail.
The Hurricane Storm Damage Risk Reduction System will hold and perform as intended. Will it be tested? Yes. But it was built for this moment.
No one hopes that is true more than medical professionals. Hospitals are brimming with COVID patients as the state experiences a pandemic surge.
What we don't have is space, and what we don't have are healthcare workers because of COVID.
Ida, seen here from a plane flying through its eye, has shown it has a mind of its own. As it churns inland, the concern now that the storm will slow down, giving it more time to do more damage and dump more rain. Carolyn Dunn, CBC News, Washington.
And NBC's Jay Gray is live in New Orleans, a city in the dark this hour. And Jay, first of all, what's happening there right now?
Well, Ian, right now the wind has dropped off significantly. Still comes in waves, and we still get pretty strong gusts, but nothing like it was earlier. The rain continues to fall, and it will for quite some time. This entire city, you said, is in the dark. You're absolutely right. No power at all for the entire New Orleans metro area. And the mayor says it could be 72 hours before that power is restored. I want to show you what the wind did earlier. Look behind me into Jackson Square, and you can see what it's done to this old giant oak that was here, just ripped apart. And much of this city has been ripped apart as well. We've got some first responders, and this is the first we've really seen of them back out and on the streets, getting a better idea of what's been left behind in this city. They haven't been out at all because of the conditions. Look, it's still 12, 14 hours of rain to go in a city that's below sea level. It's still a major issue right now. The pumps are working. They've got a lot of work left to do.
We got about 20 seconds left here, Jay, but, you know, I can't help but noticing, though there's rain, there's not a lot of evident wind where you are. Do you expect the winds to be coming back?
Well, we saw the most severe winds associated with the storm several hours ago. Yeah, we're going to get some more wind, but it's as these waves move through, and we'll get some strong gusts.
All right, NBC's Jay Gray in New Orleans this hour. Thanks so much. And while Ida batters the U.S. Gulf Coast, Nora is hammering western Mexico tonight. Nora did diminish from a hurricane to a tropical storm through the day, but it is still packing a punch as it crawls up Mexico's west coast. Torrential rains and winds over 100 kilometers an hour with this storm. Despite extensive damage, no deaths have been reported. Let's move now to the election campaign and the incredible anger facing some of the country's politicians. For the second time this weekend, protesters disrupted a Liberal campaign rally. Today in southern Ontario, Justin Trudeau was met with a crowd hurling obscenities and death threats, furious over vaccinations and mask mandates. The Liberal leader's message on climate change was all but lost. As Travis Danraj explains, he's not the only politician facing rage.
The anger palpable.
He belongs in China.
Misogynistic insults, death threats, and this. A black officer called the N-word. As an angry crowd of protesters surrounded a campaign venue in Cambridge, Ontario, the press conference was delayed for over an hour as the RCMP conducted a risk assessment. Liberal leader Justin Trudeau was defiant when he emerged.
Do we fall into division and hatred and racism and violence? Or do we say, no, you know what? That doesn't work to get us to back down. That won't scare Canadians from standing up for what's right.
While the crowd blared car alarms and shouted profanities, the Liberal leader pressed on with a message about climate change.
The sirens in the background may remind us that this is a climate emergency. That's why we will move faster and be bolder.
Promising to cut oil and gas emissions to make sure half of all cars sold by 2030 will be zero emission. The crowds have dogged Trudeau on the campaign trail, escalating on Friday with the cancellation of an event. Other party leaders have been swift to denounce the incidents.
I strongly condemn any form of harassment and protest like we've seen.
Mr. Trudeau and his team were worried about their safety. That should never have happened, and that's wrong.
Hey, Michelle, there's
And it's not just the Liberal leader. Calgary Conservative candidate Michelle Rempel-Garner released a statement about this incident, a man videotaping her while she was out for dinner. She says in these moments, quote, "I don't feel like they see me as a human." Anger toward politicians is not new, but this feels different according to this expert who has watched Canadian politics for years.
I think what's distressing about this is the degree to which it's really just parroting what's going on in the United States.
The Liberal leader is now here in Montreal, and while his team does not discuss security specifics, there does seem to be an increased presence of officers, including some that we saw in full tactical gear, possibly the new normal as the campaign nears the midway point. Travis Danraj, CBC News, Montreal.
Well, joining us now, CBC News chief political correspondent Rosemary Barton. And Rosie, you've covered a lot of political campaigns. Have you seen anything like this?
Yeah, I mean, sadly, yes. This is not new to Canada. Back in 2018, Ian, there were those so-called yellow vesters, protesters who were using very similar violent language against the Liberal leader. I've seen it against Conservatives too under Stephen Harper, but they were not quite like this. What is different here? I would say two things. The level of anger and vitriol does seem sharper. It seems directly connected to management of the pandemic and vaccines, which, as we know, has bred a whole bunch of conspiracy theories that exist online and elsewhere. And then the real security risks you heard Travis talk about there. It's clearly concerning enough that there's an additional police presence around Justin Trudeau right now, and that should be deeply concerning for any candidate, any political leader in this country now, regardless of who is the target.
All right, Rosemary, we'll get back to you in a minute to talk about what else is happening tonight. But first, a quick look at what the other main parties were up to today. Let's begin with Evan Dyer, who is with the Conservative leader Aaron O'Toole in Trois-Rivières, Quebec.
Aaron O'Toole almost certainly needs to expand his Quebec caucus to win this election. He spent the day in a region of unpredictable 3- and 4-way races where the Bloc Québécois led the pack in 2019. And he laid out a package of tax credits and loans he says will encourage investment in small businesses.
This new incentive will provide a 25% tax credit on amounts of up to $100,000 that Canadians personally invest in a small business over the next 2 years. Our plan will also help those local businesses that have survived but still need some help getting back on their feet.
The Conservatives say the plan will lead to more hiring, and public servants will work out the details if the party's elected.
I'm Nick Boisvert here with the NDP campaign in Yamachiche, Quebec. Jagmeet Singh is here today hoping to find a little momentum in a province where they lost every seat but one in 2019. Today they're trying to recapture some of that magic from the Orange Wave. In 2011, reintroducing Ruth Ellen Brosseau here in Berthier-Maskinongé. Her election in 2011 made her one of Parliament's most unlikely MPs. She says herself she never thought she would win, but she did, and repeated in 2015 before losing last time to the Bloc.
I know there's going to be momentum. I'm really hoping that people are open and are going to be supporting us. I have an amazing feeling that this is going to be different this time around. So I'm looking forward to working with these candidates on the ground and all across Quebec.
CBC's poll tracker has the NDP at 13% support in Quebec right now, just 2 points up from the vote in 2019.
Candidates have been on the trail for 2 weeks. We've seen fist bumps and speeches, but no debates or extended interviews until tonight. The party leaders arriving in Montreal for 5 chefs, une élection, a series of live sit-down interviews in French with our colleagues at Radio-Canada. So naturally, let's bring in our chief political correspondent again, who's been looking at this. And Rosemary, you watched it unfold. What stood out to you?
I mean, Ian, the format is pretty interesting. To see one leader live after another allows you to really see some stark contrasts and differences between them. It lets you see language ability. Obviously, French is the second language for many of the leaders, so that could be challenging at times. Quebec is really, right now anyway, a race between the Liberals and the Bloc Québécois. The Liberals need to pick up seats here in order to form government. Justin Trudeau had a lot on the line tonight. He had to defend his decision to hold an election. He had to answer some difficult questions about the humanitarian crisis unfolding in Afghanistan. And the Bloc leader, Yves-François Blanchet, made the case again that the Bloc is still the best defender of Quebec's jurisdiction and identity, campaigning really tonight and overall for a minority government of some kind.
So clearly this is an opportunity for the leaders to speak directly to Francophone voters. So beyond what you've mentioned, what kind of issues came up?
Climate change was certainly a big one. Aaron O'Toole saying he'd stick to the previous climate targets under the Paris deal, not the new ones recently announced by Liberals, and that he would support the construction of 2 pipelines. But he was also pressed again on vaccination. He says that people need to be educated and not forced. Jagmeet Singh was asked whether he would work with the Conservatives in a minority government, and he said, no, my goal is to win. But he also said Aaron O'Toole wouldn't be good for Canada. Justin Trudeau was pressed on the issue of why he appointed Mary Simon as Governor General, who doesn't speak French. He says it's not a mistake. It was an exception for an important moment for the country. And finally, Annamie Paul was asked why she hasn't left her riding to campaign nationally, and she said she will do it and can campaign virtually, and that she'll leave eventually. So lots of stuff there from all of the leaders in a really interesting format for people watching tonight.
And a really interesting hit by you. You packed a lot in there. Chief Political Correspondent Rosemary Barton in Ottawa. Thank you.
Thanks.
The situation in Afghanistan has been a big campaign issue for a lot of people from the start. Well, tonight, international efforts to evacuate foreign nationals and Afghan allies are continuing to wind down as danger ramps up around Kabul's airport. Faced with what officials call a credible threat today, the U.S. again struck back. It used a drone strike to blow up a vehicle in Kabul that it said was carrying suicide bombers to the airport. This is believed to be the aftermath. Officials in Afghanistan say 3 children were killed. Despite the security concerns, people once again gathered at the airport gates, hoping to get on the final U.S. flights. Today, officials said about 1,000 civilians remained inside the airfield, waiting to be flown out. U.S. troops will leave next, with Tuesday being the deadline to withdraw. Britain ended its flights this weekend and left some people behind.
Sadly, we've just not been able to evacuate them under this framework.
Today, 98 countries, including Canada, said the Taliban has agreed to let foreign nationals and Afghans with travel authorizations continue to leave. Still, many Afghans are now streaming to the borders, desperate to get out. That is a growing part of this story. So tonight, a CBC News crew is on the ground in Pakistan. Susan Ormiston is in Islamabad. And Susan, thousands of Afghans have already made it into that country, and many, many more are trying to.
Yes, there are definitely still many Afghans still trying to get out. And even if the agreement with the Taliban to let them out, foreign nationals and those with special visas, the airport is still closed in Kabul to commercial traffic. So the only way out is overland, by land. And we're seeing Afghan refugees group up at Pakistan's borders. It's about a 9-hour drive from Kabul to Islamabad. And down south in Shaman, Pakistan, a reported 10,000 Afghan refugees have crossed into there. The UN is predicting this is the next big refugee influx in the world. And Pakistan, Turkey, Iran, those neighboring countries are bracing for an influx. And with already 1.4 million Afghan refugees here in Pakistan, this government is not too interested in accepting thousands more.
We know U.S. troops are supposed to withdraw from Afghanistan in a couple of days. What else are we expecting this week?
Well, for sure, we're really entering a new phase here. I mean, this week, that airport, there are multinational negotiations going on with the Taliban right now to get it open and operating, critical for stability, for international aid organizations, for those still stranded in Afghanistan. But really, the focus now turns to the millions of Afghans who are staying in their country. The Taliban hasn't formed a government. Sources tonight say they are close to doing that, close to announcing a cabinet. But real fear and anxiety, worry about what that government is going to look like and what's going to happen to the freedoms of Afghans living in that country today.
Susan Ormiston in Islamabad tonight. Thanks. Today's U.S. drone strike in Afghanistan was its second in recent days. The first, the response to that bombing outside the airport last week, which killed 169 Afghans and 13 U.S. troops. And today their bodies were flown home. U.S. President Joe Biden joined grieving families as the flag-draped caskets were carried off the plane one by one. The dead as young as 21, as old as 31, as 20, as old as 31. 11 were Marines, 1 was serving with the Navy, and 1 was with the Army. Canada's evacuation flights ended last week, but CBC News has learned more people heading there have been able to leave Afghanistan since then. The Canadian government has come under fire for its handling of this crisis. Anna Thibodeau with Ottawa's response to that criticism today.
Across the country this weekend, cries for Canada to do more. And to act faster to help people still stuck in Afghanistan.
Yes, we accept criticism that we should have been able to start this earlier.
The Foreign Affairs Minister on Rosemary Barton Live admitted the Canadian evacuation operation was slow to start. Officials surprised by the Taliban takeover.
Of course, none of those 13 countries, including Canada, were able to anticipate the speed with which the Taliban, even the Taliban, I think, were surprised at how quickly they took over the country and how quickly the Afghan army essentially folded.
Canada got 3,700 people out, including 2,000 Afghans, before its flights ended on Thursday. But thousands have been left behind, some fearing Taliban reprisals for their work with the Canadian military. This former interpreter worries about her colleagues left behind.
My heart aches for those interpreters and those families, because if they are caught, they will be killed, and they will be killed really brutally, and they will be executed.
This Afghan war veteran believes Canada lacked a plan.
It seems like now we're grasping at straws and trying to come up with new plans when in fact we don't have a strategy, and that's the troubling part.
Canada no longer has a presence on the ground, but it's hoping its recent pledge of $50 million in aid for Afghans will act as leverage to help ensure the Taliban gives safe passage to more Afghans and their families. The Foreign Affairs Minister says he'll talk with the other G7 leaders tomorrow to discuss how the evacuation efforts can continue to happen. Hannah Thibodeau, CBC News, Ottawa.
Western Canada is in the midst of COVID's fourth wave, and health experts are sounding the alarm.
The time for intervention was yesterday, or realistically weeks ago.
Why the rising case counts have some doctors concerned despite high vaccination rates. Plus, your ballot may have candidates from parties you've never heard of.
For a party like ours, the likelihood of us getting elected is very, very small.
Why they keep running. Plus.
Happy birthday to you.
A crowd of strangers give a 12-year-old an unforgettable birthday.
Thank you, everybody, for this. This is the best day of my life.
We're back after the break. The vast majority of Canadians getting infected and hospitalized with COVID-19 are unvaccinated, and that group is being hit harder by the day. Nearly 3,000 average daily new cases heading into the weekend. Across the country, the majority of those infections coming from the three westernmost provinces, BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. That is striking because of their share of Canada's population. So let's look at those new cases per capita, and the difference is stark. Coronavirus spreading there about 3 times faster than other hotspots. Tanya Fletcher shows us how people in those 3 provinces are coping, and in some places, calling for action.
COVID in schools? Hell no!
Protests are setting the stage for another return to school under the cloud of a pandemic.
I worry that we're not going to be able to survive this.
This being the 4th wave, already gaining a powerful grip on Western Canada. In Alberta, the pressure point is again reaching hospitals. Non-urgent surgeries are being cancelled, and patient transfers have now started. Yet no sign of tightening restrictions.
The time for intervention was yesterday, or realistically weeks ago. And if nothing is done, it's only going to continue to spiral out of control.
One province over, the situation isn't much better.
We're kind of getting to the desperation phase, I think. It hasn't even come remotely close to where it's going to be at its very worst.
Some experts don't think Saskatchewan is prepared to handle what's next, especially since people there have mostly returned to life as normal.
When you have this degree of activity with a super contagious, highly contagious respiratory virus like Delta, and you have no other restrictions in place, no masking mandates, no certificate program for vaccine, that's going to be a real problem.
Back in BC, a weekend for many that felt like normal, even as the province recorded 867 new cases on Friday, the highest in 4 months. Though the mask mandate has returned here, and coming soon, one of the strictest vaccine passport programs yet. However,
neither of those things are going to be immediately effective. I think we have some challenges with the timing of our interventions, and say like our letting loose of the mask mandates earlier in the summer and then reinstituting them has led to some challenges. The vaccine certificates won't take really into hold until later in the fall.
Meaning the desperate calls for vaccinations will not let up. Neither will pressure for other provinces to bolster measures too. Tanya Fletcher, CBC News, Vancouver.
So this all happening as teachers and students across the country are preparing for another school year under COVID safety measures. We're looking at the impact of those measures in a series over the next few nights here on The National. Tonight, Deanna Sumanak-Johnson examines hybrid classes, half in person, half online. and finds that the compromise can leave some people unsatisfied.
Samantha Lawrence's oldest daughter attended virtual school last year, but this year her school board is only offering in-person or hybrid classes where a teacher teaches both the kids in the classroom and the kids at home at the same time.
I'm really concerned about how hybrid will engage younger children. I'm also concerned for educators. I mean, it's asking people to do two jobs and only be paid for one.
Sandra Ha, who helped her son with virtual schooling in a hybrid class last year, says it was less than adequate.
The teacher might be dealing with an in-person student and then leave the virtual kids to sit and wait until she could address them.
The Catholic School Board in York Region, north of Toronto, was among just a few in Ontario to try out the hybrid model last year.
This year, more boards are considering it. Staffing a separate virtual school is costly. They say the hybrid format saves money and allows students to move between in-person and virtual learning easily while keeping the same teacher.
Remote learning. The Upper Canada District School Board in Eastern Ontario also tried the hybrid model last year, and they're keeping it.
It has been very positive for our students to remain connected to the peers that they know and have learned with over time and to staff who know them well.
But this professor of education says it isn't ideal.
Teaching in person and online, when you're asking teachers to do both simultaneously, I think that comes at a cost, that cost being the learning.
And that leaves Samantha Lawrence sending her unvaccinated kids to school in person, despite her fears of the Delta variant.
If things look bad, which they seem to be heading in that direction, I'll just disenroll them in homeschool, which I don't want to have to do.
Another school year with no easy choices for Ontario parents. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
And in part 2 of our CBC News series on heading back to school, Deanna looks at safety in the classroom. That is tomorrow night on The National. But before going back to school, there is another safety warning tied to this summer's record-breaking heat. As Paige Parsons tells us, there's growing concern that too many Canadians don't know the basics of water safety that could keep them alive.
I didn't really think, I just jumped in.
Settling in for a beach day at Thetis Lake with her family in July. This Victoria mom's old lifeguarding skills kicked in when she heard cries for help and spotted 2 adults and a child bobbing in the lake.
And I jumped in the water and I swam out to them and grabbed the person who was closest to me, which was the father, and just tried to bring them all in.
Onlookers made a human chain and helped pull the group to safety. It's been a summer of close calls like that, and some tragedies. Water rescue calls on the North Saskatchewan River in Edmonton are way up this summer, and help isn't always close at hand.
Well, we've had a few successful rescues on the river, but we've also had some body recoveries.
Preliminary data compiled by the Life Saving Society, a national water safety organization, shows drownings edging higher than last year in some parts of the country, particularly in BC, Alberta, Manitoba, and Quebec. Hot weather is often a factor, according to the Society, but the pandemic is playing a role too, as people looking for COVID-safe outdoor activities took to local lakes and rivers.
That might not be a normal thing that you would do. So you may not be familiar with the water, you may not be familiar with the conditions of the water, and you may be a non-swimmer.
Barbara Byers says parents need to keep a close eye on their kids and get them back into swimming lessons as soon as possible, because risk isn't always obvious. The family Kari rescued was at a busy beach, and they weren't far from the shore.
That's the reality about water, is that you can drown in shallow water. You can drown very, very quickly after a drop-off. The risks are there.
She, too, is encouraging people to learn how to stay safe in the water and to be prepared to help others who might need it. Paige Parsons, CBC News, Edmonton.
This summer, some Canadians have also had opportunities to reunite with loved ones, even those they've never met before.
T-minus 10 days until I meet my brother for the first time.
Coming up, adopted at birth, a brother and sister connect for the first time. But first,
don't use your vote against, use your vote for something this time.
The parties that have never won a seat but hope to win your support. Next. One person has been arrested after a reported shooting at a busy Toronto shopping mall. Yorkdale Mall was locked down after shots were fired inside. A police sweep turned up a firearm. A suspect was found fleeing outside the mall. No one was hurt. A spike in gun violence in Montreal has that city adding $5 million to its police budget.
For all those criminalized group out there, we will be running after you. We'll be after you. We will do everything that needs to be done to stop this violence.
Police say they'll hire 42 more officers by the end of the year, 28 of them for anti-gun violence units. The Premier of Manitoba says he'll step down on Wednesday. Earlier this month, Brian Pallister announced he would be retiring. The Progressive Conservative Party has scheduled a leadership vote for October. Pallister says he's leaving sooner to avoid any perception that he is influencing the race. He's been Premier since 2016 and was doing well in the opinion polls until the pandemic. Manitoba was hit hard by the second and third waves of COVID. Just a handful of political parties get almost all of the attention, but there are actually more than 20 parties registered in the federal election. Nick Boisvert explains why the candidates feel so passionate about running anyway.
You got the confirmation for the two candidates.
You might not guess it by looking at her campaign headquarters, but just like Justin Trudeau or Erin O'Toole, Liz White is the leader of a registered federal political party. It's just that hers has essentially no chance to form government.
For a party like ours, the likelihood of us getting elected is very, very small. In fact, probably not at all.
The Animal Party is just one of the many lesser-known parties that show up election after election.
The John one's in here.
None have been at this longer than the Communist Party of Canada, which is about to celebrate its 100th anniversary.
If you want more of the same, keep voting the way you're voting in the last election.
About 4,000 people voted for the party in that last election. They're hoping for more support this time around with a platform they describe as a people's recovery from a capitalist crisis.
Don't use your vote against, use your vote for something this time.
Almost 65,000 Canadians voted for minor parties that didn't win a seat in the last election. That's not including the People's Party of Canada, which won 1.6% of the vote nationally in 2019, a number many small parties would like to replicate. Still, observers say the biggest barrier facing small parties isn't even popularity.
They cannot get enough votes to gain seats in the type of Westminster system that we run.
The Liberals said they would scrap Canada's first past-the-post system in 2015, but they never followed through. To the Animal Protection Party, electoral reform is basically their only long-term hope.
We are in the process of building the party and preparing for a time when Canada might very well implement proportional representation.
The odds of that don't look good right now either. Of the mainstream parties, only the NDP and the Greens are still pushing for electoral reform. Nick Boisvert, CBC News, Ottawa.
The pandemic has brought some good news, good news, to Nova Scotia's film industry.
What do you think?
Coming up, Hollywood is moving north. Why Halifax is attracting the booming film and TV industry.
You've gone downhill, you've gotten slipshod, and you've lost the touch.
And saying goodbye to entertainers who have made us laugh and dance for decades. Stay with us.
I'm Jamie Poisson, and tomorrow on CBC's Daily News podcast, Front Burner, the case against disgraced Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes and the ripple effects her trial could have in Silicon Valley. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back. Vancouver and Toronto both lay claim to the title Hollywood North. They have dominated Canada's film and television industry for decades. But Ed Asner shows us how another Canadian city is rising fast, partially because of its pandemic success.
Move over, Toronto and Vancouver. There's new competition for Hollywood North. Call it California. In Halifax and the surrounding area, film and TV production is booming.
And over here we have the location equipment supply.
This equipment company is growing as fast as it can.
We've currently expanded to 2,500 square feet more than our previous location. to able to bring in more location equipment supply, more specialty equipment, as well as having just our core lighting and grip.
Let's go, so we just want to work here.
A revival from 2015 when the province axed the tax credit program, decimating the sector.
The industry fought tooth and nail, and there was some great collaboration with the government to recognize that they couldn't just walk away.
A new incentive fund launched in 2016 helped. So did a weirdly wonderful film starring Robert Pattinson.
After the lighthouse came, it was almost like it sort of triggered confidence in the international community.
Why would you hire a corporate lawyer to work for legal aid? I don't get it. Sorry, I'm late.
CBC's Digstown was shooting before Pattinson came along and would like to share some of the credit. The cast and crew have certainly noticed the change.
Now it's like, I feel like everybody I know is like moving to Halifax.
It's harder to get crew. It's harder to, replace crew when they're not working out because, everybody's busy.
And action.
With low COVID case counts in Nova Scotia, the industry is now operating at full capacity, enough that the calls are going out. If you left because of the end of the tax cuts, come home.
If there are individuals out there that work in the film industry that would like to come and make Nova Scotia their home, there will be work for you.
Work for a region enjoying being in demand. Eli Glasser, CBC News, Toronto.
2 entertainment giants have died, one a legendary Jamaican musician and producer, the other a beloved actor best remembered for playing a stressed-out news producer, is there any other kind, in Minneapolis.
The past 3 years, our ratings have been week in and week out absolutely terrible. But lately they've started to slip.
Ed Asner played the gruff but kind-hearted newsroom boss Lou Grant for well over a decade in the 70s and 80s, first on The Mary Tyler Moore Show, then later on his self-titled spin-off series. A fixture in film and television for decades, Asner was also a successful voice actor, playing the lead in the animated smash hit Up. Asner died today at 91. Funky, eccentric, and remarkably spry well into his 80s, Lee Scratch Perry was a driving force in Jamaican dub music and an early pioneer of remixing. He released and contributed to hundreds of albums over the decades, often working with top acts across multiple genres. Bob Marley and the Wailers to Keith Richards to the Beastie Boys. Lee Scratch Perry was 85. After months of lockdowns, restrictions have given way to reunions. This has been a summer of great big hugs, and behind every one is a story of perseverance and hope. Tonight, in the last of our special series, a Winnipeg singer-songwriter meets her brother, a sibling she only found out about just as the pandemic hit hard.
Okay, folks, T-minus 10 days until I meet my brother for the first time. 7 days until I meet Reid. 3 more days until my flight. I'm reuniting with my half-birth brother, who was also given up for adoption. Oh my God, it's my brother! Ah!
It's just like a movie, right? It's actually coming to life. The reunion that you never thought possible.
Hi, my name is Ashley Fredette. I'm from Winnipeg, and I am a singer-songwriter and music teacher.
My name's Reid Gilvillan, originally from Winnipeg, Manitoba. I live in Cantley, Quebec now, and I'm a heavy machinery operator.
We met on Facebook a couple of years ago. Then a pandemic happened and we couldn't go anywhere. Meeting Reid in person is really important to me because I lived my entire life not knowing anybody who was biologically related to me. I was born into a closed adoption in 1991. My parents have always been very supportive of everything I do, including looking for birth family. You feel like an alien in your own body and not able to understand why someone could just leave you so easily. I tried everything you could possibly imagine for 10 years, and I was told there was nothing that could be done. I found a cousin on 23andMe that was the closest relative I'd ever found. And from there, I found everybody.
I got a very random text one night and just thought it was some BS text that I didn't really have to pay much attention to until I saw my mother's real name. And then my heart dropped because I knew it was all real. I had absolutely no idea that I had a sister from Winnipeg at all.
I cannot describe the sheer miracle that it was, because I had given up. I didn't think it was going to happen.
First time we had a FaceTime, I realized that she was very outgoing, strong person. You want to get to know them as quickly as possible and what they've been through, and see how much alike you are.
I decided as soon as I got double vaxxed, if I was able to, I would go myself to Quebec.
Ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. I'm coming, Reid. I'm coming.
I feel like this is the culmination of a lifelong journey.
The whole thing is kind of nerve-wracking.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Hi. It's my brother.
So I just feel like when we can embrace and hug for the first time, it'll be so healing. It's like your molecules just know each other.
It's Reid and the Parliament.
This is where my brother lives.
I'm most looking forward to just spending time with my brother and his family and getting to know my new sister-in-law and nieces.
This is the girl squad in the front.
There's nothing better than expanding family. As much as I can learn from Ashley about who she is and what she enjoys, her passions.
Here we are in Wakefield, where Reid grew up. So cute and quaint.
Reid is the only other person in the world who can understand exactly what I went through with, not knowing my identity, not having access to biological family. He's kind and caring, and he totally has my back.
Wasn't this awesome?
This was awesome.
We're gonna get to know each other because we've never gotten to do that before.
I don't know if you've seen the whole series, but these pandemic reunion pieces have been really terrific, and we're going to package them all up on social media. Next, Calgary preteen lost friends after coming out as gay, but his community made sure that he felt celebrated on his birthday. His big surprise is our moment, and it's next.
Happy birthday to you.
This is a birthday party Brody Neville will likely never forget. With many people he didn't even know. Brody came out as gay, and when it came time to plan his birthday, he told his mom no one would come to his party. So she posted online asking a few friends to join them at a Calgary park, and that blew up. What happened next is our moment.
And I was asking him what he wanted to do for his birthday, and he was in tears and said that since he came out as gay, he lost all his friends, so he didn't even have people that could come. I said, I want to make a Facebook post, see if some of my friends can come out and support him, just so he's not alone.
Thank you, everybody, for this. This is the best day of my life.
It's a no-brainer. I mean, someone like that in his situation needs support.
I guess I put myself back in the shoes of being 12 years old in rural Saskatchewan, went, wow, wouldn't that be great if people came out to support me back then?
Hearing about Brody and the heartbreak that he was experiencing, I don't know him, but I already loved him. And seeing how many people in solidarity love him too, honestly inspired me. It's like, okay, we do still have community. It's not lost. and we can all still love each other.
Are all of these people here for the ice cream truck? That is literally the first thought that I had. It's the greatest present of all. Support and people in it together with you. I just don't want this one to end. This is the best birthday ever.
Best ever. And what you saw there is only part of the community. There were apparently, according to his mom, letters and emails and Facebook messages, texts from lots of other people, many of them strangers, who also just wanted to show their support and their love on his birthday. That is the National for August 29th. Good night.